Last week, I made $2,348.18 in 7 days doing Uber Eats deliveries. That's more money than what most delivery drivers make in a single month. Now, was it somewhat difficult? Yes. Did I have to work nearly 10 hours a day? Also yes. But I did it to prove a point. That point being that I am the greatest delivery driver in the world. I'm just kidding, but rather, I did it to prove that it's still possible to make a lot of money doing food deliveries in 2024, as long as you know what you're doing. And just to be fully transparent, I normally don't work this much. As you can see, in the first week of January, I only made $1,277. So how exactly did I make more money in a single week than what most delivery drivers make the entire month? Well, I broke it down into a few aspects that I'll be talking about in this video. But before we get into that, let's talk about how Uber Eats works, just in case there are any new drivers watching this video. When you go online for Uber Eats, you will start receiving orders from restaurants that are near to you. Unlike DoorDash, where you have to be within a specific zone in order to receive orders, Uber Eats allows you to earn money from anywhere within your city. When you receive an order request on your screen, you will have around 10 to 15 seconds before that order expires. So you want to get very good at reading the order screen as fast as you can so that you can accept only good orders. A lot of delivery drivers will tell you that it's necessary to buy some sort of equipment like a bag to carry the food in. But it's really up to you, and is it necessary if you don't feel the need for one? The first aspect that allowed me to make $2,348 in 1 week was scheduling and location. These two work hand in hand, but let's talk about each one separately first. So location is the most important thing that will allow you to earn more money doing food deliveries. If you don't know where to be, you won't receive any orders. While Uber Eats allows you to do deliveries from anywhere in your city, you won't receive any orders if you're in a rural area. Think about it this way. The closer you are to a restaurant, the more likely you are to receive an order from that restaurant. Because the further away you are from a restaurant, the longer the order will take you to complete. So you need to place yourself in restaurant dense areas within your city. Sometimes these restaurant dense areas within your city will be marked within the Uber Eats app, and it will look something like these orange dotted areas, also known as hotspots. But I've noticed that these areas won't always be the best place to position yourself, even if it's marked as a hotspot. Not only that, but these marked areas will be more popular at certain times of the day. And that brings us to scheduling. You need to know where to position yourself within your city and at what time. There's the general popular time shifts, which are breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but just knowing these busy times won't help you if you don't know where to position yourself. Sure, Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. is one of the busiest times of the week for Uber Eats deliveries, but if I position myself in the wrong part of town during this time period, I may as well be working on Monday from 3 to 5, one of the worst time shifts in my city for deliveries. And that's how the two work hand in hand. Hotspots within your city will be more popular during specific times of the day. For me personally, the downtown area of my city is most popular during the dinner shift. So if I'm working the breakfast shift, I won't be searching for orders downtown since I know there aren't any orders to accept in that part of my city. So simply knowing this would allow me to save a lot of time and earn me a lot more money since I would avoid downtown during the breakfast shift. Now let's talk about aspect number 2, and that's order acceptance. If you didn't already know this, order acceptance does not matter. Usually my order acceptance sits at around 15 to 30%, and I always have these little warnings on my screen. I even receive notifications throughout the day asking me why I'm declining so many orders, and I usually just ignore them. I like to follow a few general guidelines when deciding whether or not to accept an order. The first being orders that pay a minimum of $5 per order. The reason I say $5 rather than $9 like other creators on the site is because I always know how long an order will take me to complete the moment it appears on my screen. I do this by looking at the pickup location and the drop-off location. If the pickup is from a restaurant that always has their orders ready the second I walk in there, then I know the pickup would take me less than a minute to complete, and I would be in and out of there very quickly. And if I see that the drop-off is to a house, then I know that the drop-off will also take less than a minute. So if the order has an easy pickup and drop-off, then I'm willing to accept that $5 order. Rule number 2 is to accept orders that pay a minimum of $2 per mile. I never drop below $2 per mile ever. Accepting orders that pay that minimum will allow you to keep a very good pace, and you rarely ever get screwed over by keeping this standard. The third rule is to only accept shop and pay orders during the less busy times of the day. I already made an entire video on shop and pay orders, so if you want a complete guide on these types of orders, go check that out. But something to keep in mind with shop and pay orders is that they won't ever turn into a double order. So only accept shop and pay orders if there are no other orders to accept. The third aspect to earning more money is customer satisfaction. A lot of delivery drivers completely ignore this side of being a delivery driver for some reason, even though it's incredibly important. If you've ever worked as a waiter, you know that the waiters with the best customer service usually get the better tips. And it kind of works the same way with food deliveries. One of the ways that I guarantee customer satisfaction is by making sure the customer gets everything they ordered. Read through the order's items and make sure it's all in the bag. If the bag's already sealed when the employee hands it to you, double check it and make sure everything is in there. See if there are any drinks they forgot to hand you, because that's usually the ones employees forget. Also check if the customer left any notes for you about extra sauces or napkins or plates, and then just ask for that whenever you're in the restaurant. I always try to go above and beyond for the customer, and it's one of the reasons I think I've been able to earn so much. One time, the restaurant forgot to give me tortilla chips as part of the delivery order, and it was one of the main parts of the whole order. They had ordered like 5 dips and 5 bags of tortilla chips. So when I noticed this halfway to driving to the customer's house, I decided to actually stop at a store and buy a large bag of tortilla chips. I never asked the customer to pay me back for it, and they ended up giving me a $25 tip. Was it worth going above and beyond for the customer? I would say yes. Also, always check if the customer left you any drop-off instructions. You don't want to knock on the door and wake up a sleeping baby, especially if the customer asked you not to knock. So those are some of the key aspects that have allowed me to earn so much more than other delivery drivers. If you enjoyed this video and would like access to 30 other videos just like this one, then I would recommend checking out my food delivery guide linked in the description below. My guide contains all the information and strategies that have allowed me to earn hundreds of dollars a day doing food deliveries. I go more in depth on everything I covered in this video, including my top strategy on finding hidden hotspots within your city. My guide has all the information needed to take your delivery earnings to the next level. By purchasing this guide, you'll never have to watch another YouTube video again, and it serves as your one-stop shop for all delivery information and all delivery strategies. If you want to learn the strategies that have allowed other delivery drivers across the US to double their delivery earnings by simply learning from my guide, then click the link in the description so you don't get left behind.